There will be 6 items for knitters in our advent calendar this time, and this is the first one. It's a hexagon, a 6-cornered element, and you can use it blocked as a star, as a single star, or you could join it for a cozy blanket, or use it for a jacket, or a shawl, or a stole. So many options for this very simple element. I made a bigger one with 20 stitches on every side, on every of the 6 sides. So I cast it on 120 stitches on 2 circular needles. And I show you a smaller version of it, otherwise the video becomes too long. And I show you half of the stitches, so you cast on 20 stitches on 3 needles each. So you cast on 3 times 20 stitches on double point needles, and then close to the round and continue working in rounds. We are working a garter stitch, so alternating rounds of purl stitches and knit stitches. And Lucy takes her favorite place in front of the light. So 60 stitches on 3 needles. Just be careful not to switch stitches and needles. I lay them out so that I see the little knots of the wrong sides lined up. For the bigger version, I cast it on 60 and 60 stitches on 2 circular needles. So, laying out the round, knots facing you, and you start with 1 round of purl stitches. As simple as that. And this element looks most beautiful if you use gradient colored yarn. In this case I use Nobile from Lang Yarns. Nobile or Millicolore is equally beautiful. Okay, first round finished. And now we continue with 1 round of decreases and knit stitches, and you need a stitch marker. I got those beautiful stitch markers, those tiny angels from Mara in Salzburg. Thank you, Mara. They really make some Christmas spirit. But of course you can use any stitch marker you have at hand. So, and now for each needle you start with slip 1, knit 2 together. I'm stretching them a little before. That makes things easier. So knitting 2 together and pass over the slipped one. And now knit 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and place the stitch marker on the right needle. And further on, you will always decrease at the beginning of the needle and after the stitch marker. So slip 1, knit 2 together and pass over the slipped one and knit 7 again. So if you are working on the big version, you would make the decrease and knit 17. Repeat this for the remaining 2 needles. And after every decrease round, you purl 1 round, so 1 round of purl stitches. And in the purl round, you may control if you did not forget to pass over one of the decrease stitches, which sometimes happens to me. So always alternate 1 decrease round with knit stitches and 1 round with purl stitches. So I already worked 1 more round of decreases, and now this is the 3rd round of decreases. Slip 1, knit 2 together and pass over the slipped one, and now I have 3 knit stitches. And take the stitch marker to the right needle, slip 1, knit 2 together and pass over the slipped one, and so on. So I skipped the purl round now in the video, and this is the next decrease round. Slip 1, knit 2 together and pass over the slipped one. Now there's only 1 knit stitch left. Now we don't need the stitch marker anymore with so few stitches. And again, slip 1, knit 2 together and knit 1. Don't forget to pass over the slipped one. Now with only 4 stitches left on each needle, you slip 1, knit 1 and pass over the slipped one. And slip 1, knit 1 and pass over the slipped one. Only 2 stitches left. Repeat this for the next 2 needles again, and work 1 round of purl stitches. You really continue until the very last stitches. So you could finish here and pull the working thread through the remaining 6 stitches, but I'm continuing with 1 round of purl stitches and even 1 more round of decreases. So 2 more purl stitches, 3rd needle, and now I'm decreasing once again. Slip 1, knit 1 and pass over. And you may continue with that 1 needle now. and slip one, knit one, the next 2 stitches and pass over. And once again with the last needle and only 3 stitches left. One more. And if you work this up to the very last stitches, that leaves a little point in the middle of this element. Okay, now take a hook, put the 3 remaining stitches on the hook, and pull the working thread through the 3 stitches. And chain 1 and cut the yarn with about 20 centimeters length. So now you may leave this little point, it looks funny, but you may also turn the working thread to the inside, to the wrong side, and sew it in, which lets that little point disappear. So now you know, so you could block this and use it as a single star, but if you want to make a blanket out of it, or a jacket or something else, a shawl or a stole, then you continue with the next hexagon. And as you know, sewing is not my favorite occupation. We will avoid sewing and get out the stitches for the new element out of one side of this element. Take a needle a little bit thinner than before and put 10 loops on this needle on the right side of the element. Here we go. And now cast on 10 stitches and 20 stitches and 20 stitches. So 10 on the first needle and 20 on the second needle and 20 on the third needle, because we've already 10 stitches on the needle on the element. So, finished, and now you just continue with the needle, with the stitches on the finished element, with a new needle, and you start over with 1 round of purl stitches. And the stitches on the element, they lay switched on the needle, so you work them through the back loop. Purl stitches through the back loop, now you work those 10 stitches, and now you join to the round and continue on the same needle with the 10 stitches you cast it on. So, and this is the same as the first round of purl stitches we did on the first element. And after this first round of purl stitches, you continue with decreases like we did before. Of course, you may as well work those elements separately and sew them together when you're finished. You have to block them a little to make clear hexagons. So whether you're doing the bigger version or the smaller versions, I prefer the bigger one. It's a little less work. And I prefer to do those on 2 circular needles. You will have much fun with those little beauties. Enjoy.